My first guests this week are recognizable to TV viewers in numerous genres, from soap operas to commercials, dancing competitions, and even home makeovers. And lucky for us, they've combined their collective talents into a new project. It's called the LA Ballroom Studio, and this real-life couple is here today to assure us that even those of us with two left feet can learn to get their waltz on. They obviously haven't met me, but we'll let them deal with that coming up in just a couple of moments. So first up, he played Dr. Jake Marshak on Port Charles, and if you're not fast-forwarding through the commercials, you may have seen him as one of the sexy garbage men in a new Hefty ad campaign. Rib Hillis, welcome to Soap Central Live.
Hi there. Thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you for being here. Let's bring on our other guest as well. Elena Grinenko is a world champion professional ballroom dancer, so a little nervous to discuss dancing with her, but hopefully it'll be all right. You may have seen her on Dancing with the Stars. She's the owner of a talent agency. She's a choreographer, and she even serves as a board member of the National Museum of Dance. Elena, welcome to Soap Central Live. We may have lost her. We'll try to get her back in here. In the meantime, we'll talk to Rib.
Sure, let's make the whole interview about me.
I try not to make it about me, so it'll be nice to have somebody who we can sort of mix it up with here. As I mentioned in your introduction, you know, folks may know you from your work on Port Charles. You did fill in on Passions for a while, so I want to find out, when did you decide that you wanted to pursue acting? Was that something that you wanted to do from an earlier age, or was that something that just popped up along the way and you decided to say, hey, let me check this out?
It was definitely the latter. My segue into acting came very late in life. I wanted to be a professional football player as a young boy and teenager, and went to college to play football. But I sort of passed on that because I was hurting myself more than I was hurting other people. And I was like, you know what, maybe I should try something different. And a modeling career came along, which I was happy to take advantage of, which that got me to Europe. I lived in Paris for 2 years, and I ended up coming back to New York, and I took an acting class to get better at doing commercial auditions and not with the hope of becoming an actor. And I had such an amazing experience in this acting class, getting to pretend to be someone else, which is really acting, just pretending. I walked out of that class with my eyes wide open. I thought, this is what I want to do. In my late 20s at that point.
It's interesting that you say that, because for myself, my plan was always to go into medicine, and you mentioned that you wanted to be a professional football player. There are a lot of people, maybe even some who are listening now, who have it in their mind that there's one set path that they have to, you know, do something, whether it's maybe pressure from their family or not. What is your advice to someone who maybe isn't sure what they want to become further down the line in their career?
Well, this life can be long and with lots of different twists and turns. I would say passion. Passion is really the ultimate sort of litmus test and guide. If you're doing something that you're passionate about, it's going to take you in directions you never imagined. And I would say pursue those, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to pursue them, because if you're doing a job that you're passionate about, it's not going to seem like a job. It may seem like a long way off. Someone might want to be, you know, a professional surfer, and they live in landlocked, you know, Kansas or something. But if you want to do it and you're passionate about it, the journey to get there won't seem like it's too bad.
Well, I think that there's an interest of disclosure here. It may be 17 years later, but let's talk about this. When the first press release, Rib, came out for Port Charles back in 1997, I remember working on the cast list for SoapCentral.com, and I thought, look at this, they made a typo. Obviously, they meant Rob, and I changed it. And then the next press release came out, and it said Rib Hillis again. And I remember thinking, well, maybe that's really his real name. So let's ask you. You know, the I and the O are right next to each other. It obviously isn't a typo. Name is Rib. Is that, where did the name come from?
Oh, that's funny that you changed that. That's hilarious. I was a little boy. I was about 6 years old, and I was catching frogs in a pond in upstate New York, and I caught a bunch of frogs. And my friends gave me the nickname Ribbit because of the frogs. And I moved from upstate New York to Newton, Massachusetts, and the first day in third grade, I stood in front of the class, and the teacher said, should we call you Bob, Bobby, or Robert? Because that is my name, Robert. And I had just gotten this new awesome nickname, Ribbit, And so I blurted out to the third grade class, "Call me Ribbit." And they all, perked up and were like, "That's so cool." And that's it. It stuck. I have friends that only know me as Ribbit because they met me through elementary school. It's shortened to Ribby, and then high school it was just Rib. When I went to Europe and started modeling, they didn't even have a last name. I had just one name on my comp card in Europe, just R.I.B. So it's been a self-given nickname from the childhood.
I guess it worked out. I mean, it's been quite some time.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I don't know any other way. That's how I've gone through life, is having this kind of odd name, and I tend to spell it. I like, hey, it's Rib Hillis, R-I-B, because a lot of people put an extra B on it. My son, his name is Magnus. We have a 5-month-old son, and we decided to name him Magnus. And my father sort of balked at it. He's like, "Well, how can you name him Magnus?" I mean, well, I guess he actually said, "I guess he could change his name when he gets older." and my 10-year-old son, Dane, he said, "Why would Magnus change his name from Magnus? People change their name to Magnus." And I thought, exactly. Magnus has the chance to have great of a life as he wants, or as small. It doesn't matter. But the name is just it's just what is called. It's not. There's nothing more to it unless you want to put more to it.
I feel like I need to come up with a cool nickname. Of course, it's 40 years in now. It's probably too late, but I'll work on that.
This is how you do it. You go to a new town, and when you meet people, you tell them the new name, and that's the only way they will know you, because they don't know the past. Now, if someone from the old town comes to visit you, they may give up your secret, but you could start over.
Maybe we'll have
Never too
one.
late to change your nickname.
Look who we have.
Sorry,
Welcome,
guys,
Elena.
my phone
okay.
threw me out in the beginning of the...
That's okay. We're just getting to know everybody here. So let's jump in with this. Do you have a nickname, Elena, or?
I do.
You do.
My nickname is Grinya, which comes out of my last name, Grinenko. And my childhood friends don't ever call me by my nickname. Or by my name, sorry. It's always a nickname.
Okay.
So we actually have a funny story with Rib. We just started dating. My full name is Elena. My short name is Lena. My nickname is Grinya. And then Russians changed their names to Lena, Lenusik, Alenchik, Grinchik. And so I have 25 names. And then he goes, "I'm going to ask you odd questions. Please don't get upset with me." And that's like maybe 3 months into dating. He goes, "What exactly your name is?" Yeah.
Well,
But yes.
we're going to stick with short names. I don't know that we would have the ability for 25 names here. I think that would probably take up a whole tweet all by itself.
Yes, probably.
So let's let fans who are listening get a chance to know you a little bit better. You were born in Russia. You are an incredible dancer, but when did your passion for dancing begin?
I can tell you it started right away because I was 7 years old and I got into it. And, I don't know a one single little girl that doesn't like to twirl around and wear those beautiful costumes and, shoes and things like that. So I loved it immediately. And then, I went through my tough teenage times because dancing was really taking up my whole entire time. So as a teenager, I said to my mom, "I don't want to do it because I want to go out." But really, dancing was always part of my life. I honestly I was born to dance. I can't imagine my life without it.
Well, that brings me to what I was mentioning in the introduction, and I don't know if you were both able to hear it, but people, I'm watching something like American Idol, and people will always say, "Yes, I can sing." Well, we've learned that, yes, maybe everyone can sing, but not everyone can sing well. Let's talk about dancing, Rib. Do you think that can everyone dance? There are people that, like myself, who are born with 2 left feet, who, for me, the hokey pokey is probably my advanced dance class. I don't know if I'd be able to get past that. So let's talk about it. Can anyone dance?
I think anybody has an ability to learn how to dance. not anybody can become a world champion. Obviously, the more your body structure, if you're structured for specific things like gymnastics or dance or swimming, and you have a correct structure for the sport, then obviously it's easier for you to progress into like something like competing nationals and world championships. But we're talking about social dancing, and social dancing is dancing for fun. And honestly, to do a Running Man, it's also dancing, or the chicken dance, or anything like that. For me, dancing is a form of expressing yourself, and anybody can express themselves through some kind of a form of dance. Rib makes fun of me on my top dancing. Yeah. Yep. It's my happy dance, and I'm absolutely terrible doing that, and it looks hilarious. And he goes, "Oh my God, how can a world champion ballroom dancing look so funny?" But this is my form of expressing my happy dance.
I think we all have those. I'm sure there are people who are listening who are nodding their heads and thinking, yes, I have a happy dance that maybe I don't want anyone necessarily to see, but I think everybody has the happy dance. And dancing does make a lot of people happy in and of itself. So, Rib, where did the idea come from to start the LA Ballroom Studio? Well,
obviously, Elena has been part of the dance world. It's part of her life, part of her, who she is. And so in the almost 6 years we've been together, we've slowly been kind of coming around the idea. She's run other studios. But really, I think the real impetus was our son, Magnus. Magnus was born 5 months ago, and Elena's life, traveling a lot with, in fact, Elena is actually working right now in San Diego, and she's not even at the studio. But we wanted to have a place where we could have a future and have something a little more stable. My life, you know that the active world of an actor, you're out of work more than you're in work. And I've been very, very fortunate to have a very long and diverse career, but it was time to build something for our future, for our son, and for our family. We had this great opportunity. The former studio owner was ready to move on to a different phase in her life, and we were ready to move on to a different phase in ours. And so it all happened pretty quickly over the holidays. We literally were doing negotiating and getting tax ID number like on Christmas Eve, and on New Year's Day we were trying to do business. I tell you, it's hard because the IRS shut down for a week, and we couldn't get our tax ID number. But it all worked out. We were able to open the doors over here at LA Ballroom Studio literally the day after we signed the lease, and had students on the dance floor because we inherited the previous tenant and owner's clientele of students, and we have some great instructors. But we're trying to make it our own, so that's why we're talking about it. We would love for people to come over and enjoy dance as much as we do, as much as Elena does. And I will tell you this studio is a place where you can literally let it all go because no one judges you, because I dance and I'm terrible. So if I'm lowering the bar, no one's going to feel embarrassed about going out there and dancing.
Now, that's a good point, though, for Elena. Is this something that is targeted for experienced dancers, or can someone really come in with maybe no dance experience and say, hey, I kind of want to learn to do the waltz?
You know what? I've been in many different situations. I had people coming in and they learn like extremely quick, and it's amazing. And I have people coming in that it takes them a little bit longer. But when you look at yourself a year from now on, and if you do that something like you come once, twice a week, and you do it consistently, you will find yourself dancing at the social party, many different.
Well, apparently we have lost both Rib and Elena, so we will take a quick break while we figure out where everybody has gone to. So stay tuned, because the joys of live radio, everybody. We are back talking about the LA Ballroom Studio with Rib Hillis and Elena Grinenko. And before we had some weird polar vortex technical issues, I was asking what you think is the style of dance that most people wish that they could learn. And as I was saying, for me, I think the waltz seems very dramatic and regal, and that would be the one that maybe I wished I knew how to do. For the two of you, what do you hear from people that they would like to learn?
I think people come in with different wishes, but I know for sure in specifically Los Angeles, salsa is very popular, so we have a lot of people asking for salsa. Argentine tango right now is one of those sexy dances.
Yeah.
People ask for that, but it's a lot of people walk in and they just want to dance. They're not necessarily actually know the specific dance, but they're like, "Oh, I always wanted to dance. Just teach me anything."
Yeah, I think that probably there's got to start with one. Can't do them all at once, or I mean, I guess you could, but that would be, at least for me, I think that would probably be confusing. So I want to give you guys a chance to let people know how they can find you, where they can go for more information, and, you know, if they're really interested in learning, whether it be salsa or tango or the waltz, what they need to do.
Sure. So you can find our information on the website, which is Ballroomstudio.com. And it has our phone number and our email, and so they're welcome to call us. And what we usually do, we offer people an introductory lesson, so where they can come into the studio and meet our staff, try a lesson, and see what we offer. And as of right now, we are offering people new owner special, which we call 222. For 222. So you're going to get to go into the studio and have 2 private lessons, 2 group classes, and 2 social parties. So you actually, with that package, will have a feel of all of those things that we offer in the studio and have fun with it.
And one of the things that we want to do with our studio is want to make it a place that people come and learn dance, but they also can come and socialize, because we have a really great group of students that come for our group classes. We have a lot of students coming in private, and then we have our social parties, and everybody gets together. We have a big social party coming up on February 6th, which is our Valentine's Day social party, and we are doing a special thing for this. We're doing the Celebrity Dance Challenge, Battle of the Soaps. I don't know if you've heard about this, but we were on Lily Melger's and Martha's show, their radio show, and they challenged each other to a dance-off. And so we facilitated that, and they're coming in and training and getting ready to do their dance-off in our studio in front of our live studio audience, really. And we have some celebrity judges, Snow Urban from So You Think You Can Dance, and we're trying to get a lock on a few other soap stars to be our judges, and we're gonna make it fun. Like that is our dream, is to have a place that people love to come and have fun, and as Elena said, express themselves.
That does, I mean, goodness, that sounds like a lot of fun now with the little competition. We've got Team Lily and Team Martha. I guess folks can weigh in and do a hashtag and see who they're rooting for.
That's a genius.
I like that idea.
And, of course, we're going to need to see maybe a YouTube video or a little bit of a snippet with some highlights. For those of us who can't be there, we would like to be able to see this dance-off.
Well, we will definitely. We're going to have a clip going up soon that is sort of the beginning of, then they come in and some training session clips, and then we will tape the actual event on the evening. And it is open to the public. The social parties, it's $10 in advance and $15 at the door. And bring your dance shoes, and there will be all different types of music you can dance to. I will be on the dance floor. I promise I won't step on too many toes. I'll probably do some tango and some salsa. I think Elena will be able to get on the dance floor. So anybody who is in the Los Angeles area on the 6th, come on by and join us at LA Ballroom Studio.
And we will be passing along that information both on our official website at soapcentral.com/radio and on our numerous Twitter feeds. But before I let you guys go, since we are just 2 weeks away from the Olympic Games, Elena, you worked as a choreographer for some figure skating medalists. Is that true?
Yes, I did. I worked with gold and silver medalists for the last Olympics.
Very nice. And since we don't leave you out, Rib, I'm sure that you haven't choreographed any figure skating medalists, but what is your favorite Winter Olympic sport?
Probably skating. I do like hockey. Not. I grew up watching it. Dad. And you know when they. Sorry, I can't speak suddenly.
It's the cold.
They used to fight a lot, and it was way more fun. Right now, they're too nice.
I would probably go with freestyle skiing. I think that's a pretty fun and dynamic sport.
Yeah, I like watching all of them. I think bobsled is fun. It looks dangerous to me. It also reminds me of the way that I drive, probably. So for me, that's always a lot of fun. But I want to thank you both for being here. As I said, I want to let everyone know that they can get additional information at laballroomstudio.com and also on their Facebook account. Just search for LA Ballroom Studio there as well. You'll be able to get additional information. So, Rib and Elena, thank you so much for dropping by today.
Thank you.